If you've ever noticed that people become careful around you without you doing anything threatening, there's a psychological reason for that. And it has nothing to do with anger, aggression, or violence. The most dangerous people aren't the ones who explode, they're the ones who never do. When we talk about danger in psychology, we're not talking about harm, we're talking about power. The kind that doesn't announce itself, the kind that shifts the energy in a room simply through presence. Most people think dangerous means chaotic, unpredictable, volatile. But behavioral psychology shows us the opposite. The truly dangerous are the ones who stay calm when everyone else is losing control. And if you recognize these signs in yourself, you're holding a level of psychological intensity most people will never understand. These aren't traits you learn from a book. They show up through lived experience, pattern recognition, and the kind of self-awareness that comes from watching how people respond to you over time. And whether you realize it or not, these patterns reveal something deeper about how your mind operates. Sign 1. You rarely explain yourself. Most people feel the need to justify their decisions, defend their choices, clarify their intentions. You don't. Not because you're dismissive, but because you've learned that your actions speak louder than your words ever could. This unsettles people. They're used to negotiating reality through conversation. But when you simply do what you said you do without elaboration, it creates a quiet authority that most people find difficult to challenge. Sign 2. You can sit in silence without discomfort. Silence makes most people anxious. They fill it with small talk, nervous laughter, explanations. But you can hold space in silence without needing to break it. This isn't about being cold. It's about being comfortable with the weight of unspoken things. And that comfort signals to others that you're not afraid of tension, which means you're not easy to pressure. Sign 3. Your emotional reactions are delayed. When something happens that would make most people immediately angry or defensive, you pause, you observe, you process. This delay between stimulus and response is one of the clearest indicators of psychological self-control. It means your emotions don't control you, and when people realize they can't provoke an immediate reaction from you, they lose their primary tool for manipulation. Sign 4. You notice what people don't say. You read between the lines. You pick up on hesitation, deflection, inconsistency, not because you're paranoid, but because you're paying attention. Most people listen to words, you listen to patterns, and this makes you exceptionally difficult to deceive. People sense this, even if they can't articulate it. They feel seen in a way that makes them either trust you completely or avoid you entirely. Sign 5. You don't seek validation. You're not performing for approval. You're not checking to see if people like you. This doesn't mean you're indifferent to others. It means your sense of self isn't dependent on external feedback. And when someone realizes their opinion doesn't sway you, they lose leverage. This quiet independence makes you unpredictable in a social landscape built on mutual validation. If you're recognizing yourself in these patterns, you're the kind of person this content is made for. Give this video a like and subscribe. Let's continue. Sign 6. You can walk away from anything. Jobs, relationships, friendships, situations. If something no longer serves you, you leave. Not impulsively, but decisively. This ability to detach without drama signals that you're not bound by sunk cost, obligation, or fear of starting over. And people who can walk away are always more powerful than people who need to stay. Sign 7. You speak less than you used to. You've learned that most conversations don't require your input. You've stopped filling space with your opinions just to be heard. This isn't about being withdrawn, it's about being selective. And when you do speak, people listen, because scarcity creates value, and your words have become scarce. Sign 8. You're comfortable being misunderstood. You don't rush to correct people's assumptions about you. You don't feel the need to clarify your intentions or defend your character. This level of detachment from your own image is rare. Most people need others to see them accurately, but you've realized that how others perceive you is none of your business, and that freedom is psychologically destabilizing to people who rely on managing perception. Sign 9. Your boundaries are non-negotiable. When you say no, there's no room for discussion, not because you're rigid, but because you've already considered the situation and made your decision. People test boundaries to see if they're real, but when they test yours and find no give, they learn quickly. And once they learn, they stop testing. Sign 10. You don't react to provocation. Someone insults you, someone challenges you, someone tries to get under your skin, and you remain unmoved, not because you didn't hear them, but because you've trained yourself not to react to bait. This level of emotional regulation is unnerving, because most people are used to getting a reaction, and when they don't know what to do with you. Sign 11. You remember everything. Not in a petty way, but you don't forget patterns. You don't forget inconsistencies. You don't forget who showed up and who didn't. This isn't about holding grudges, it's about pattern recognition. And when people realize you're tracking behavior over time, they become more careful around you, because they know nothing slips past unnoticed. Sign 12. You're selectively vulnerable. You don't open up to everyone. You don't share your struggles with just anyone. You've learned that vulnerability is powerful, but only when placed in the right hands. This selectivity signals that you value your inner world and you're not willing to expose it carelessly. And people respect what's guarded more than what's freely given. Sign 13. You can hold two opposing truths. You understand that people are complex, that someone can be kind and selfish, loyal and dishonest. You don't need everyone to be all good or all bad. This psychological flexibility allows you to navigate relationships without illusion, and it means you're rarely shocked or betrayed because you never expected perfection in the first place. Sign 14. You've stopped trying to change people. You accept people as they are, not because you're indifferent, but because you've realized that people only change when they choose to. This acceptance removes expectation, and when you stop expecting people to be different, you stop being disappointed. This emotional neutrality makes you impossible to manipulate through guilt or obligation. Sign 15. You know when to disappear. You understand that presence is a gift, not a guarantee, and when a situation no longer aligns with who you are, you remove yourself quietly. No drama, no explanation, you just go. This ability to vanish without warning is one of the most psychologically powerful moves a person can make, because it reminds everyone that you were never trapped, you were choosing to stay, and the moment that choice changed, so did your location. Here's the truth about these signs. They don't make you better than anyone. They don't make you superior. They just make you different. And that difference creates a kind of psychological weight that people feel even when you're not trying. The most dangerous people aren't the ones who seek power. They're the ones who've learned to carry it quietly, who understand that real strength doesn't announce itself, and who've realized that the loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful. If you recognized yourself in these signs, understand this: you're holding something most people spend their whole lives searching for: control, clarity, presence. But with that comes responsibility, because people who operate at this level can either use it to build or to destroy, and the choice, every single day, is yours. The question isn't whether you're dangerous, the question is what you're going to do with that danger, and that answer determines everything. If this changed how you see things, subscribe, because we're just getting started on how your mind really works.